Welcome back to Destiny Manifest. This is T.
And Jay?
We told you guys this in the last video. This is going to be a KDP free course. We've been working on this for a little while now, and we're really excited about this. It's going to basically be an introduction to KDP book publishing and everything that you need to know to get started. Now in this video, we're just going to tell you guys a little bit about our story. We know that you guys don't really know us like that, so we're going to tell our story in this video and also give you guys a little bit of an introduction if you're new to KDP books. So we'll get started. So we've been entrepreneurs for the majority of our lives. We started our very first business in our teens doing trade shows. The very first trade show was really successful.
Yeah, we ended up making $12K in a weekend, and we've been hooked ever since on entrepreneurship.
And our mom was also a very successful entrepreneur before us, so it kind of runs in our veins. It was nothing new to us. It's all we ever saw in terms of breadwinning in our homes, so working for other people, that never really crossed our minds. We always knew, even going to school, that, it was to start a business. So our mom was an amazing woman. She worked really hard to provide for us, but sadly, being a single mother, she also ended up attracting the attention of an ex-family friend. He was able to prey on her because he ingratiated himself basically to her as a helpful, nice guy, doing handiwork around the house for what he claimed to be discounted prices.
We're rolling our eyes, guys, if you can't see.
Seriously. He would offer to even pick us up from school. We were really, really young at the time.
Or work.
Or work.
I worked too.
Yeah, we were in high school at the time, so whenever she was too busy, he would offer to do that. And that's the thing. That's what cluster B personality type of people do. Narcissists and psychopaths, they'll try to appeal to their victims and gain their trust so that when they finally do strike, they end up really blindsiding their victims. Their victims don't even know what hit them. They can't even believe that it was them a lot of the time, or what they went through was an experience with a narcissist or an experience with a psychopath. But what ended up happening was he completely ruined her finances through sabotage and through fraud. We lost everything at that point. She lost her retirement savings, even the $1 million home that she worked so hard to buy. It would be worth $1 million today. Back then it was worth a little bit less. But
$800K or something.
Yeah, but she had to sell for really, it was just...
we lost everything.
Yeah, everything was in shambles by the time this guy was through with her.
That's a story for another day. We will have to have a real video dedicated to that. But anyway.
But despite us being told multiple times from even our own mom that our little business that we had started in our teens might not be the best route for us, and that we should look for real jobs, because some of the trade shows thereafter, especially after the first few, ended up not doing as well, and so she began to really lose faith in our business, and we, to be honest, were kind of losing faith in ourselves. But it was really this business that was able to save us from homelessness. During a time when even our housing and our shelter was uncertain, it was this business that was used to come up with the down payment in a weekend at a trade show to buy what would be our first house.
Yeah. Because the money was due right after that weekend. So our mom was like, you guys need to make sure you make that much, or else we were homeless. So the pressure was on. Yeah.
And we did it.
We did it.
And so after that experience, this was when we really knew that entrepreneurship was the only way, not just the, ideal way or something like that. It was the only way for us.
It was actually after that whole experience, and after we had finally managed to get the down payment for the house, that we realized that we had become burdened with being the main breadwinners in our house. When most people our age would have been going to school and they were, finding themselves and traveling and everything, we were in full survival mode. Our mom was depressed after all the circumstances. Like, it was really bad. And it was around like 2 years. This whole incident took about 2 years, and courts were involved. It was, yeah, horrible. So she like soon fell ill after that as well. So like eventually we ended up like opening a small shop, because people from the trade shows would be like, don't you guys have like a store we can go to? And we thought that's a good idea. So when we moved, there were places around that were cheap to rent out. So we did rent a little shop, and she would help at our little physical store. So like someone was definitely watching over us though, and telling us to stay the course in entrepreneurship, regardless of how discouraged we were sometimes, and regardless of how painful it felt seeing our peers like enjoying life, you know, working jobs that actually paid them well. Because there was times when no one would come into our little shop when it just started, and we would drop a little bit of money into our own cash register, because we just thought like, we just had that idea of like abundance. Like, if the universe sees money coming into the cash register, even if it's from our own wallet at the end of the day, then it'll get the clue that like, hey, money belongs here, you know? These people deserve customers.
Buy from ourselves, because it's like you can't go, that was our mantra, like you can't go a single day without a sale. So even if it was like buying from ourselves, we'd buy like a pack of gum from ourselves. That's what we would do.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of it all, it was this business that's been thriving online even through the pandemic, because the pandemic ended up shutting down our store like mid last year. Our lease was almost over anyways, but still we had to shut down several months before we were actually ready to. And when we were just focused fully online, our stores did so well. Yeah, we're definitely divinely protected and provided for. That's why it's so important to listen to that little voice. And that's why this is not just a business channel or a finance channel. It's spiritual too, you know? We have always believed for a very long time in like the law of attraction, manifestation, abundance, all of that stuff. You know, the world is not just the physical, the world is spiritual. Before you get anything in this life, it's your thoughts first. Thoughts become things. So this isn't a sob story, guys. This is just to show you that even we could do it, you know? We have some of the most unfortunate circumstances, and we pulled through, and we're, you know, what we consider to be successful right now. We've been almost homeless. We've had our business fail, like, quote, multiple times. We've been robbed multiple times by competitors, our landlord, like when we moved stores, because we had like a new store, and our first month's rent, was it first month's rent or second month's rent? I can't remember.
The last month's rent was stolen.
Yes.
But even before that, they stole the first month's rent too.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And they got their karma though, like the stuff that happened to them afterwards. Anyways, yeah, but we've been ripped off before, and we just kept looking ahead. We just kept focusing on our dreams and focusing on our visions. You know, that's kind of what's got us this far. We could have sat down so many times and just said, you know what, I give up. That's when a lot of normal people would give up. Yeah. But we didn't see a way except for forward.
We just had, it's as you said before, we just had that vision in mind, and we just, you know, we kind of have tunnel vision.
Yes.
And, you know, that's all you see, because even telling this story, we're not used to doing this. So this is the first time we've ever told our story online. So it was kind of hard even to remember all of these things. Like,
yeah,
and half of the stuff that we put together, and sorry guys, but it's just like, it's stuff that I purposefully like blocked out of my mind, because if I had thought about them, then it would just, that would be so depressing. I would be so depressed. But it's just like, there's power in the vision.
Yes.
There's real power in that vision.
Hold on to your visions. Hold on to what, like, that's why you have to have a strong why. Like we've said that before. You have to have a strong why. You have to know why you're doing something, because there's easier things to do sometimes, you know? So, like, I always had that dream of us just being able to, like, work from anywhere, not work at all if you don't want to, you know, sitting on, like, patios in the summer and just enjoying the day, any day of the week, you know, not just a day when your boss says, okay, you can have this 1 or 2 days off, like, anytime you want, you're just free, you can work from home, you can do whatever. Like, that was what I always envisioned for us. And that's what I held on to. That's what made me keep going.
Same here.
Yeah.
And if you have that same drive to be able to, you know, to be financially like free and financially stable, not have to worry about anything, not have to worry about least of all bills or finances, you know, then, you know, you're in our camp. You
Thank
know,
you.
so we got into the e-commerce game a few years ago, actually. In 2019, we built our first 10K per month business on Etsy. Mind you, we have to actually re-upload information on Etsy. It still applies today. Our Etsy was shut down because of false allegations. The accuser retracted their claim, but Etsy's policies are really, really strict, and they just kept us closed down.
They decided they didn't care what was true or false.
Yeah.
They're just like, policies.
It's just like, anyways. So needless to say, we went from like a booming online business to no income overnight. And this was really scary. It was actually like one of our worst nightmares because, you know, we thought like, oh, okay, we found our financial stability. We found, you know, that financial freedom. And then we realized that, no, you really didn't, because, you know, and we talk about this, well, we've talked about this before, not on this platform. As we said, we have to re-upload the videos. You know, when you have to depend on a platform to, you know, to make all of your money and stuff like that. That's why you don't really put all your eggs in one basket, because if that stream ever, you know, dies some way, then you really need something else to be able to fall back on. And luckily that was the case for us.
We were the living version of what would you do if you had to start all over. Like when we lost our Etsy, that was literally us. All those videos people make where they can like speculate and hypothesize, like this was real life. And we're gonna have to make a video on that sometimes, because we did a lot of things, including using the law of attraction, manifestation techniques. All these things helped us to create a thriving business a year later. And we've developed abundant mindsets over the years, which is the reason we didn't give up too. After seemingly losing everything, we decided that the only way forward was to rebuild our e-commerce earnings by diversifying our income streams using more stable business models. Like, sure, Etsy was easy money. And by the way, we did Etsy print on demand, which was relatively new in 2019. A few other people have caught on by now, but it was really tough teaching that too on YouTube. People were so confused and they thought it was like illegal. Anyway, we had like our own custom print-on-demand items, and they made money very quickly. But yeah, Etsy is still a great platform for people who don't have a huge audience for their merchandise or their brand, and they have little money to spend on advertising, so we'll never knock it. We always will still say to give it a try. But yeah, we wanted to create businesses where no one could deplatform us anymore out of jealousy. Like, competitors on that platform can be ruthless when you're doing better than them, and we do believe we had some competitors following our store throughout our journey and, you know, flagging things. Because as soon as we left the platform, we saw that a bunch of people had ripped off our products. So anyway, throughout our entire stint on Etsy, and even after we were deplatformed, we noticed that books we had published a really long time ago and forgotten about continued to sell. We put out like one book. I think it was just one book. And all these years later, it kept selling here and there. So without us actively doing anything. So this led us to like take KDP more seriously and to look at it again, you know? And KDP, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, it's self-publishing books through Amazon and Audible. In 2020, we didn't publish many books, not even 50 in total. Yet we were able to make over 18K in the month of December alone, and that's during a pandemic where people were losing their jobs. So looking back, we could have made a lot more if we weren't so busy with, like I said, our other business at the time. But yeah, like talk about a foolproof business model. That's why we wanted to like spread the word about it.
And before we go any deeper, guys, we want to be really realistic with you. If you're new to e-commerce, you might not have the best results right out of the gate. And this can be for several different reasons, including like lack of experience or a lack of time or effort. People think that building passive income streams is really quick and easy, but it does take time. Like, it's not, you know, just work really quickly and then all of a sudden money starts rolling in. It's, you know, a lot of work over time, and then that builds and builds and builds, right? Another reason why people might fail is because online business is not that easy. It can be simple and straightforward, but it's not easy. It's not a get rich quick kind of thing.
Exactly.
There's a huge learning curve, especially when you're attempting something that you've never done before. And unfortunately, the learning curve is what discourages a lot of people when they hit a roadblock or make a mistake. They just lose confidence and give up altogether.
That being said, if you're someone who gives up easily, there may not be any business that works for you. You might be better off maybe getting like a 9 to 5, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with those. You don't even have to do 9 to 5 forever too. People think you do. You can just save up enough money in a 9 to 5 and just do investments, put money in stocks or something, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. I think that's a misconception too. You were thinking the same thing.
It's not even appealing to everybody.
Yeah.
So, I don't blame somebody who just wants to go and do investments instead. That's, people do that. People just let the money roll in by itself. They build up income streams that pay dividends or, whatever, and
real estate.
Yeah, there's tons of other ways. So just really make sure that this is the route that you want to go, or try it and see if it's the route that you want to go.
But that being said, if you are a hardworking, positive individual who is interested in entrepreneurship and you're willing to learn, we found that of all the online businesses we've ever tried, besides Etsy, KDP is the simplest and fastest profit we've ever made. Thanks to KDP, we now make consistently thousands per month, pretty much passively at this point, and we were able to do that in a few short months when we really focused on KDP, publishing high-quality, well-researched books.
There are a lot of people who literally can make a living off of their book royalties, so the self-publishing space is a great opportunity for earnings. It's like a sleeping giant in the sense that there's not a whole lot of spotlight on it, unlike Shopify dropshipping or affiliate marketing, which is they're both a bit oversaturated, or they feel that way anyway. It's not like you can't succeed in those spaces, but it's a lot harder. Yes. Amazon FBA is another lucrative business model, but again, there's a very steep barrier to entry. And this is why we say get into KDP. Get into it while this giant is still sleeping before this opportunity becomes another saturated market. If you're interested in different ways to make money online, with the right guidance, you can easily start earning extra income. This business requires no inventory, memberships, hidden fees, just your time and your understanding.
So guys, this is a free crash course that will take you from a total beginner to someone with a good grasp of how to be successful in this business model. And with the information we're going to give you, you can easily earn your first 1K to your first 10K monthly. Of course, if you're very serious about making a life-changing income with this business, you will definitely want to consider using some of the premium tools available to you eventually. All right, so now that we have our story out of the way, we're going to jump into the course. This, once again, is an introduction to KDP book publishing. So the question is, are you ready? KDP allows users to self-publish books on its platform completely free. The purpose of this training is to demystify the publishing process because it might sound intimidating if you're new to the business model, but it is simple and straightforward if you take the time to learn. We've had massive success in a short amount of time, even during a pandemic, and while we certainly manifested our success, it would never have been possible if we didn't take the time to learn KDP. So what you will learn: consider this a crash course. You're going to learn step-by-step instructions from start to finish to create your very first profitable book. This will be perfect for anyone new to KDP self-publishing, anybody interested in earning passive income, and anyone who wants to supplement your income, replace your 9 to 5, or just build more streams of income. We dedicated an entire playlist on our channel to KDP book publishing because of how much it's helped us in our lives, and we want to help others, so make sure to check it out. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our channel, please, and leave a like. We're trying to grow this family, this community, and it helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and it also helps others to discover us. So watch this video to the end, and we're going to include something special at the end for anybody who does finish this video.
Why books? Books are a passive income stream, so that I think is one of the biggest draws to KDP publishing. There's also limitless growth potential and compounded profits over time. So whether you want to just make a few extra $100 a month to help pay some bills, like a cell phone bill or something like that, you can do that. Or if you want to completely replace your day job, that's possible too. You can create any amount of income that you need with high quality books. Another benefit to books is that you get royalties in perpetuity. Your books will remain on Amazon forever, unless you choose to take them down for whatever reason. But even generations after you can profit off of the books that you make. So, I mean, even long after you're gone, your children, your children's children, they can benefit off of the books that you build or that you create today and publish. And I mean, that's even a way to build generational wealth. So books are really slept on. And lastly, you work once and profit forever. So as said before, when you publish your books, they're on Amazon for people to buy forever. So long as people are buying your books, you're still profiting and you don't have to do any more work besides maybe, run some ads or something like that. But other than that, you're working one time and your books are gaining that kind of compound profit for you.
So section 1 is getting started. What is a low content book? So low content books include anything from sketchbooks, coloring books, planners, agendas, recipe and guest books, password books, calorie and food logs, blank comic books, journals, workbooks, poems and songbooks, etc. Like all of those are considered to be low content books. Why low content? Low content books are an easy and low cost type of book for a beginner to start publishing right away. They can be made by a beginner without hiring a ghostwriter, which saves you money. And yeah, not much writing is required. So with the basics of graphic design knowledge, you can create templates for workbooks, grocery and shopping lists, planners. You can even buy ready-made interiors for your book as well. These are typically quite affordable, and there's even free interiors too. You can literally just start downloading and, getting started today.
And what is a high content book? High content books are anything from fiction novels, mystery, romance, adventure, like fantasy, to nonfiction works, like self-help books. You have your wealth building books, health-related books, biographies, to name a few. For beginners, we would really suggest going with nonfiction books if you're going to go the route of high content books. They're informational, and since they're highly searched for, they're a lot easier to be found and discovered organically through the Amazon algorithm, and that's due to the high search volume. So fiction and nonfiction are two completely different business models. Fiction's a bit more complex and expensive for newbies. And we have a video that kind of goes more into depth about the pros and cons of fiction versus nonfiction for high content books. We'll link that in the video for you guys. Now, why should you do high content books? High content books are much less likely to get lost in the sea of crappy competitive books because lazy publishers can't bother to write something that's long form anyway. Many lazy publishers, they'll stick to LCB publishing or low content book publishing, and that kind of weeds them out from the get-go. High content books are also generally perceived to be higher quality. Customers with good experiences with these books will likely buy again and even buy similar books from several different authors. High content books that solve a problem like self-help or health and wellness, business, etc. are evergreen. There'll always be people searching for answers for these kinds of issues, and there will always be a market for your book. High content books are much harder to copy and flood Amazon with, as opposed to LCB. Since high content books are much harder to flood Amazon with, like you won't have the issue of like thousands of notebooks with, all with different cover pages and the same interior flooding up the competitive space. Like you won't have to worry about that, and that's a good thing.
So the next section asks outsourcing or do it yourself, low content or high content. So what should you basically start with if you're new? So if you enjoy writing, you have the time, and you wish to save some money, you can definitely write your books yourself. We've written books ourselves, both high content and low content, and they have all done very well. Alternatively, you can get your books outsourced, which is what we have also done. And this also works out very well. This is when you hire a ghostwriter to write a book on your behalf. You pay them for their work, and in exchange, you keep the publishing rights and earnings entirely and in perpetuity. You don't even have to be a skilled writer to make money selling books with KDP. This is a business model that is not only easily scalable, but you can literally get started right away, even if you have little to no money up front to invest. So now we're going to get into KDP's amazing opportunity.
KDP provides an opportunity for anyone to build a successful and profitable business. So many businesses are lucrative, but they require money to make money. Unlike those, KDP evens the playing field and gives everyone a chance to win. The only other business model that we've enjoyed such fast success from with little money up front was our Etsy print-on-demand business. When we opened our store and put up one shirt design for a few cents USD, and we made around $38 on the first day that we started, and it just snowballed from there. We have an Etsy playlist, as we mentioned before, and we'll end up uploading it here for you guys, if you're interested.
So I put this here to flex. Not gonna lie. We used to make some nice sales. And that was us being total newbies. We didn't know how to advertise. We didn't put a whole lot of money into our shop besides the few cents that you have to pay per upload. So yeah, this is what's possible. There you go. That was those were like regular notifications in our emails.
Oh, I'm so triggered.
I know. And then this is, why did I put this here?
Okay, so this is a screenshot of the 26th of January, just a few days ago, just showing the expanded distribution sales that I got in one day. It was a little over $1,000 Canadian.
In a day.
In a day, yeah, that's what I woke up to. So that's the kind of, and mind you, that's with low content books.
How many?
That was with one.
That was with one.
One low content book.
Oh
Actually,
God.
there was, I think there's a few, like there's maybe 10 of another one, but that was with one low content book. And so when we say like to do low content and do high content and stuff like that, or which one's better, you really just don't want to leave money on the table. Do both eventually, even if you start with one, because, you know, I don't know if it would be like, this was an easy book to make. It was low content. It didn't take a long time to write. Don't leave money on the table. And, you know, this is a book that can't sell as an audiobook, but these distribution sales are really nice.
Yeah.
So, you know,
don't sleep on them.
Yeah. People say that low content, you know, doesn't make any sense. It made quite a few cents for me. So.
And I know that we've said this before, that this is a brief introduction to selling books with KDP, but we're going to be teaching you guys the basics of how to create and launch your very first low content book. That's also why we showed you guys that last slide. No matter what kind of books you wish to have in the future, we do recommend starting with a few low content books just to get yourself familiar with the process. We want you to have, and also because they're lucrative, we want you to have a clear understanding of the research, design, and uploading process involved with book creation. But don't assume that we're wasting your time teaching you this. Low content books make money, as you've seen, and some of our highest selling books are low content, which we have told you before too. So some of our low content books make up a lot of our earnings, and personally we think it's best to have a mixture, like we said, of low and high content books to maximize your profits. Oh snap. Okay. All right, so this is my data sprouts reports. December of 2020, I did 11,208 in my personal KDP account, and yeah, very, very, very happy with that.
And again, what kind of book was that with?
A mixture. It was a mixture, but man, a good chunk of that was low content as well. Just call us the low content kings. I'm just kidding. So that's been our story, and that is getting started with KDP. Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next video, and we hope to see you guys there. And thanks for watching, and subscribe. And
Thank you. Share it with anyone who, you know, who can benefit from this too.
Absolutely. And let us know if you like the new sound. We have a new mic. Let us know what you think of the sound. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.